Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dream, our weekly stream of wrestling, talking about this week's wrestling shows. Raw, Smackdown, NXT, and AEW. John, how you doing this evening?
Not too bad, Matt. Not too bad. A lot of stuff to cover this week. As I've said on previous streams, I kind of like this format here. Just us kind of like recapping everything. I watch one other wrestling podcast. It's called like Mat Men, where they pretty much do the same exact thing, which I kind of like, just because rather than us trying to like kind of cover everything and like more specifically when it comes for NXT and Dynamite, we were just trying to basically cover both shows where like one of us weren't exactly watching the other shows, so it made it more hard. So
Yeah.
So yeah, but do you just want to start off, since SmackDown is like most freshest and
most
I'm
freshest. Great English there.
More fresh.
More fresh.
Hey,
Fresh.
Hey, it's nowhere near as bad as Seth talking about him. We'll get into that.
Yeah. So SmackDown tonight. I'm gonna weekly reminder how much better SmackDown is than Monday nights.
Hell, I mean, I didn't even see Raw, but I saw some of the highlights, and Jesus Christ, it's just like, I don't know how these are the same people writing both shows. Like it can't be possible, because where you look on Raw, it seems like they're just randomly booking shit, whereas here everything had an actual reason to happen.
Yes,
like it just, I mean, I don't understand it. It's like they're booking this show like a freaking wrestling show, a TV show, where it's leading to things, setting up things. Hell, we didn't even have like Big E this week,
and it was still good.
And it was still good.
I forgot about Big E.
I was like,
and that's not not a negative thing, but that was,
it's just like you completely forget about those certain things, and I mean, hell, we opened up the show tonight, Matt, where we find out we have more than 2 tag teams. SmackDown has 4 tag teams possibly now that they were also teasing Daniel Bryan possibly feuding with Sami Zayn again for the IC title. But I would not mind a tag team with Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan though too.
Are you up with the smoke, John?
I am always up with the smoke.
Fist me. Daniel Bryan being like the millennial to the Zoomer.
Oh my god!
Like the old
he said that with such a straight face on top. That
lost my mind.
It was hilarious. But they had the KO show where Kevin Owens was just basically talking with Daniel about his future plans, and then he tries convincing him to possibly get into a tag team, and Daniel Bryan says, "You turn on all of your friends, Kevin." I was like, "Well,
straight face." He's
well,
like,
Dan,
like, don't forget about that.
And then eventually Ziggler and Bobby Roode come out. God help us. Eventually,
I like Rude.
Yeah, we like him, but Ziggler, he's Ziggler. But and then eventually we have the Street Profits, and also Cesaro and like Nakamura come out. Eventually we get an 8-man tag. What'd you think about this segment?
I appreciated. We started with tag teams. We started the show with a tag team. Show off
Like something new.
show off the division as it stands. You got, let's just in general, 4 credible tag teams for the most part. Obviously the Street Profits are your champions. You got a potential new team of Bryan and Owens, which I like, but I still kind of wish I could see Kevin Owens and Kane. I think that the chemistry, I'm just thinking of the chemistry of just Owens and of Owens trying to be like all gung ho ish, and then Kane just being the stoic no selling stuff with Owens. And,
so pretty much,
but that's not going to happen.
So pretty much how he was with Team Hell No, then,
in a way, but less Daniel Bryan ish, and like a mix of that and him and Jericho, in a way,
right.
And then in a certain extent, the NXT Maverick and Dane. Like if you combine all 3. That would be that team, but obviously we're not going to get that. But Daniel Bryan and Owens still work for the meantime if they're going that route. But like we saw, Daniel Bryan wanted the IC title defended every week, pretty much like a TV championship, which it wouldn't be a bad
open
thing.
Challenge every single week sort of thing, which like guys like Cena has done it, and like more recently Cody has been doing it over on Dynamite with the TNT championship. So I mean, I'm not completely against it because at least it would give some importance on the IC title, but at the same time too, it's also kind of a cheap cop out because it always seems that they always go back for that when they don't exactly know what to do with either the IC title or the US title. So I'm hoping that they like don't do that.
I'll go with the compromise of on TV more so than not, but with a feud like.
But hell, man, I mean, like as current as what SmackDown's like mid card is. Sami Zayn has been booked really strongly as IC champ so far. Yep. He has, in my opinion, has like made that title really important, and I definitely feel like having him feud with either with either Big E, a Daniel Bryan, hell. Even though I do not want to see them to face each other again, I mean, even against Kevin Owens.
It's weird because enough time and a lot of stuff has happened. If it was a short-term thing, I'll be okay with it. But I would rather go with obviously Big E for now and a Daniel Bryan for now, in the interim or whatever they do. But it's still amazing how like when even stuff moves over to SmackDown or whoever goes on SmackDown, it somehow works.
I mean, like it just I don't know what it is, man. Like it just like I mean, like I mean, hell, it's just however they're presenting this, whether whatever it may be, it's working right now.
Because
well, and two, it also helps when you have credible champions, and Sami Zayn and Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns, and like Bayley, and the like Street Profits. They are all very strong champions right now. So it really helps out if you have good challengers. I mean, it really helps these.
I think on Raw to the counter and agree with you at the same time. I think Raw has strong champions, but there's no
interest.
It's the storylines.
Yep. Oh, it's absolutely that. Hell, I mean,
Maybe
and that's the second thing.
The only exception, if you're just looking at straight title, like just title pit people, like scenarios, out of all of them, Drew and Orton has been the best one.
Although, like I think it
comparatively,
but at the same time, it has been booked so badly too. At the same time, and I'm talking about more specifically at Clash of Champions, where like how they had that finish where Drew was like you would have thought
we've disagreed on this.
Yeah, like to me that didn't exactly help Drew in my opinion because it came off like that basically he lost on like multiple occasions if it weren't for guys such as Shawn Michaels and others. But I see what you're saying. But so and that's why on SmackDown, where it seems like things are more like logical, they're more straightforward, and hell, as like you said, Matt, just with these storylines are just so much more interesting. Hell, from at the very top all the way down at the bottom, it's just
nothing on this show overall that I just sat there and went,
right. Hell, even the freaking silly shit with Otis, and
to me,
and Morrison.
I know that it is this is another case of polarizing the Twitter sphere, similar to what Jericho and MJF did. Either people liked it or people didn't or hated
it. And we will definitely get into that. Into like I have seen 50-50 on that right now. A ton of people hate it, but a ton of people have also really liked it. It just kind of depends on like how you like what your wrestling is. Hell, if you are Jim Cornette, you can kind of figure out how he's going to feel about it. But
the rant was glorious.
But if you are in at the same time, if you are at like a younger
demographic,
a younger demographic, I think you are going to like that. And we'll get into that later.
I think it also depends on who is in the segment.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like you need.
I think that's one big issue between the two. And again, we'll get into it.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the Otis. I mean, we laughed. I laughed at some stuff. We got JBL being the judge, Ron Simmons being the bailiff, Teddy Long being the
interpreter.
Not certain interpreter, the person who writes stuff down, whatever the fancy term is, and
like a transcriber.
Go with that
there.
SAT, John with the SAT word here. You know what? No, I don't think it's transcriber. It's a writer downer.
God, shut the fuck up.
Seth Rollins say instead of follower.
Seth sucks at the English language, which is completely believable just for how horrible that he is on social media. So I find that 100% believable on what he said there. And speaking of him, man, I don't know. I mean, if there's one thing on this show that did kind of nauseate me, it's and it has nothing to do with SmackDown. It's just this thing has been going on for so long on Monday Night Raw, and like, it just I'm just over so.
I enjoyed the match.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
it was a good match for
that was fine. It's just with these 4 or 5, if you count Aaliyah here. I just do not care about this. Where is this eventually going?
She wants the Murphy booty.
The
Murphy booty.
So are we going to be having Murphy and Dominic feud here? Like, it's just, I have no desire to see that. Or, yeah, and that too. So, I mean, it's just,
you know what? I am convinced already that this half of the feud on SmackDown will be better than the half on Raw. I am convinced.
Well, I mean, setting the bar really low here, aren't we?
But the bar will be topped.
I'm not going to disagree with that there.
Holy long legs here, Batman. Yeah. Under the table. Jesus Christ. I have nowhere to. So I'm fine. I just look down and it's just legs.
Well, that's what happens when you're sitting so freaking low here.
You want that other chair?
No, that chair is freaking hard.
If we were brought to you by Blue Chew, this would be a good segue into that.
Oh, absolutely.
But I would want to make Sean Ross Sapp proud. But we're not getting sponsored, so I will not do it, and we don't use it because we don't need to.
Not yet. Anyway. Anyways,
sponsor us, please.
So
anywho, well, we got
Bayley and Sasha. I actually like this here. I feel like that was outside of Stephanie coming out and saying
you really wanted Stephanie down.
I really wanted her out here. I was just like, and her just saying, okay, hey there, bitch, sign the contract or you're fired. Oh, okay, but no, they actually Sasha forcefully made Bayley sign the contract. And like you and I were talking about this, that they're like, there's has to be something that's gonna happen here. Just I don't get the sense that Sasha is like winning here.
Yeah, I
did,
because she got the upper hand,
right? And on top of that, it just feels like that this is going to be dragged out. And I did like your idea of possibly
I won't credit John Elbow on Twitter.
Okay,
this is his thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you would debut a Mercedes Martinez or someone to be quote unquote Bayley's like new best friend, or like her like muscle or something,
that's a good idea by Elba. She got pulled from Retribution.
Mm-hmm.
She had a match against Rhea and that's still cage, so she can be written off per se. And like just have Bayley and then Mercedes standing behind her.
Mm-hmm.
I think that dynamic would work well. It'd be similar to a Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez.
Yeah.
How in that takeover match, I think was it against Tegan Nox? Yeah. So that feud, it's similar. Somebody turn on each other.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar. You think Tegan's gonna get the win, the comeuppance, and out of nowhere, this behemoth of a woman, all compliments, just kick-ass woman, comes and attacks and costs Tegan the match, and the heel gets the heater. John Elba's idea is great. Mercedes, she just looks intimidating. You take Sasha out.
On top of that, it adds someone else in that women's division there.
It's something intriguing.
Yeah.
And it would be done right on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
You take Sasha out, and we talked about this several weeks ago, and that then Sasha comes, wins the Rumble, then you get that payoff moment at Mania in front of 10 or 100,000 people, depending wherever, and you get that payoff, that ultimate moment. Sasha wins at Mania, because I looked through it. She has not won at Mania in any form or fashion.
No, and I definitely feel like that's where
you can include that into it.
Right.
You built that in. Phenomenal story. It will work. There's
and
there's a main event right there.
And I definitely think while she is hopefully away, there definitely are going to be leading into like Bayley versus Bianca here.
Eventually, yes.
I mean, like, to me, she has the highest upside out of any new woman that they have had come up from NXT since probably Charlotte, Sasha, Becky, and like Bayley. She has everything, man. Like, so much charisma. She's built like a freaking brick house.
She's the female Cesaro.
She is the female Cesaro.
Doesn't look like she can do anything,
but
lift anything, but she can kick your ass.
She can kick your ass, and hell, man, she can talk. She has a presence to her. I mean, like, there's no reason why this woman should not be a top female in this women's division.
Okay, so question. If they eventually, they get to Bianca and Bayley, should Bianca be champion? Let's say, that's just hypothetical here. Bianca be champion going to Mania, or should Bayley be champion going to Mania for Sasha to win?
It depends how early that they go with Bayley versus Bianca. Like, to me, if they just go straight into her, on Survivor Series or TLC, I would say no, just because I think that is way too soon.
Yeah, no, she shouldn't. If they really want to push her, I mean, see,
this is where they could really use a veteran to kind of put her with, to kind of take up some time and give her some more TV exposure, in my opinion. But the problem is, outside of like Bayley and Sasha, they don't really have anyone else to have her feud with on SmackDown right now, you know. And it also hurts to that you don't have a Charlotte or a like Becky right now, which those are two really big names off your roster, but that's kind of the position that you're in right now. And I don't know what you do with a Bianca Belair outside of feuding her with either Bayley or Sasha right now, you know.
Yeah, I don't. It's tough. I don't like it.
Yeah,
because you don't want, unless Bianca wins and then later somewhere Bayley can win it back, in time for Mania, because there's time,
which I'm fine with, honestly, though, too. Like, because that would immediately tell you, oh, okay, she's gonna be a serious threat. But at the same time, too, okay, say if she loses, she has to go off and feud with someone else. Then she can't just be like she can't just like lose and then and like, oh, like she's gone then off of TV.
I almost rather she feud with somebody,
right?
Build her up, win,
right?
But I mean, it's already almost November,
and two, I mean, like, I think probably the best case scenario for her would to be winning in the women's Rumble match, and then having that at like WrestleMania, because to me that probably makes some more sense. And honestly,
yeah.
I mean, like, Sasha and Bayley has been happening for so long now that like do we really trust this company to wait another 6 or 7 months to finally have the final blow off of this feud?
This feud has been bubbling for months and
a very long time. Yeah.
So I can say yes. What's another couple months? But the thing is, I don't know, because I feel like Bayley and Sasha should get the payoff of Sasha winning and Mania.
Right.
But at the same time, Bianca.
Right. Exactly. She's is an A+ player.
It's a good problem to have.
It's a very good problem to have. So
this is why I don't write.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Trying to think. Okay. And then the final thing for tonight, Matt. Our tribal chief had.
Oh, before we get to that,
Yeah.
Chad Gable is back, baby.
Oh yeah, that's right. Like they had another comedy thing where he's talking about the size of his genitalia, which I freaking lost.
What's the name of his? Or was it his nick or is his name?
But
I don't think he was talking strictly genitalia. I think he used it.
I think
it was like his name.
Or no, he was talking about his like his like wrestling Olympic resume or something.
Yeah, it's big. Yeah,
it's big, and he's tired of being treated as a joke, which I like that because at least with him getting just squashed by the Freak.
Still on the train. They didn't overly use the Freak during the match.
Give it time. But hell, at least that has.
I guess they met their quota last week.
Right. So now he said that quote unquote I quit. But then once he had that backstage segment,
he said to go on about his past accomplishments and said they're why.
Yeah. Okay. But he says that I quit as Shorty G. He's going back to of course they could not give him his full name back. It's just Gable.
I'll take it.
But
I don't care. I'll take it.
But then again, we'll take it.
It's
so
not Shorty G.
So
Gable.
now
he said Chad Gable. I swear he said Gable.
No, I'm
Chad Gable.
No, I'm pretty sure that he just said Gable there.
Oh,
unless
I think he said he's Gable. I think he went the James Bond route there.
Oh, okay.
I swear.
I didn't hear that, but
regardless.
Okay. Yeah, regardless. Making him Shorty G was a stupid freaking idea.
That was a King Corbin thing. And
that was
stuck.
It sucked.
It was fine. It was fine for like a one-off thing, for like a nickname for that King in the Ring.
That
like
thing
an insult.
That thing had zero legs too. Like it's like you could only get so far. So
it was
written poorly. So what is happening? This tells me either A, Vince is just not involved whatsoever, because I just find it weird that they would do this on SmackDown, because I just never would have even thought that would be even a possibility. But hell, I mean, I like it. We'll see what happens. But
this again, you get squat. This works twofold. In my opinion, you want to push Lars, right?
Mm-hmm.
You show how dominant he is, right? He beats Shorty G, right? Shorty G is frustrated that he lost, right? So you push Sullivan, regardless if you like him or not. That's
a completely different podcast right there.
That's a whole and Shorty G quits, and everybody's comparing that to Austin Theory on NXT. Thought maybe they're teaming together or whatever, but no, they immediately did the payoff in the next segment, I think, right back from break or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Chad Gable explains why he's quitting Shorty G. He gave a passionate promo that somebody, like, when he was pissed off would, right?
Yep.
It made it telling the story.
Made sense. Yep. It made sense.
People were over going crazy of tearing it up right after Shorty G quits. And I'm thinking, just let's see where it's going first before you crap all over it. It's SmackDown. Something good is going to happen.
Well, I mean, like, at least
something logical.
At least for the short term, they have given you at least some faith that
you're building somebody. You're trying to build him back. He's being used in a possible good role. You can fit him into the IC title picture at some point after you build him up. That's another player in the in the mid
I
card.
just hope that this isn't a week or two thing, and then they say, "Oh, screw this! This is done," because they have done this a lot in the past. So I'm hoping that they actually
this
stick
is
with
not
it.
this is not Raw and Retribution.
Yeah, that's right. Which we will definitely get into that here shortly. But okay, so the final thing on SmackDown, our tribal chief Roman Reigns is going to lay down what the consequences of his Hell in a Cell match will be against his cousin Jey Uso, which I mean it goes without saying once again, this was great. Just they can't do anything wrong with this storyline. And I love how they had like Jimmy Uso on Titantron in like your Roman's secret hotel room.
I think it's the locker room backstage, like
right?
The fancy,
Yeah.
whatever.
So like he just like he's there. He's saying and just talking a like whole bunch of shit on Roman about his food and stuff, and then
his fruit and cheese.
And he just says you have like lost your mind, and then he says, oh yeah, Jay, he
takes his hoodie or hat off, and honest to God, I didn't even recognize that was Jimmy until he said it.
Yeah.
I still can't tell the two apart. Obviously, the haircuts are different, but if he didn't say anything, I wish.
And I tell him, and then obviously we have a small little brawl between like Jay and like Roman, and then on top of this stage, Usos hug it out and stuff, and then Roman lays down what his consequences are, which are basically, if you say I quit, you are banned from the family. Jimmy J, all of
their wives, kids.
Yeah, so they are taken out. And so I was telling Matt, okay, so if Jey Uso says I quit, I'm gonna call 100% bullshit on this, because just based on how they have portrayed him and his whole family, they are very stubborn, and will not just easily say that, which is why I like your idea, which was
you have like before the match, you show like Rikishi ringside, right? Like they always do. And then some point during the match, near the end, after Jay Resilient is getting his ass beat, right? And you just see Roman doesn't want to do it. Jay doesn't say I quit. Heyman's on the outside with his just his visuals, just like in shock, like Roman's gone too far. Just make it just end it. But somehow they get outside, because it always happens. I would feel like this is the main event. Roman sees Rikishi out there, pulls him in, beats the living tar out of him, and out of sympathy for his father, right? He can't. Jay doesn't say I quit because of Roman, but his father's lying in the middle of the ring, blood. If they got blood, just bloodied and beaten, and just laying in a giant heap of just barely hanging on, and just out of love for his father and making the sacrifice for his father, he says that I'm done. I quit. You win. Just make it stop. And Roman wins, and it's a credible way, a sympathetic way for Jay to lose without giving up. But his father, the family, the whole family dynamic causes Jay to lose the match to protect his father, to protect his family. And I think that is a powerful way, a powerful image. It protects Jay because he didn't give up per se because of Roman physical on
and I tell you, like
it's a powerful image.
Roman
the
has
story right there.
Roman has brought up the profile of both like Jay and like Jimmy in this short feud within a span of 2 months, man. It's pretty amazing. It just shows you that this company, when they can write good stories, when they actually freaking make sense and are interesting, like it's there. In this, like, this has been the WWE's best story probably since either Daniel Bryan's or like Becky. It's probably since like her rise like in WrestleMania, from like Survivor Series to like WrestleMania against like Ronda. Probably the best overall story going on right there. In my opinion.
I like Daniel Bryan's too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hell, that's and like CM Punk as
CM
well.
Punk. And if I'm gonna get 2020 as a whole, I would compare it to Edge and Orton, like story wise. There,
yeah, it's just like
to 2020. 2020. I can't. If you expand it all the way, yes.
Yeah,
Daniel Bryan, Becky.
Yeah, I mean, like, but yeah. If we're just doing 20,
if we're doing 2020, it's Edge and Orton, that whole thing, and Orton's thing after that, because it wasn't a lot of things to write home about on Raw. And Smackdown, while being good, nothing has touched this story.
None whatsoever. So I'm very interested to see once this thing is over, where things go next for Roman. And
more specifically Jay.
And more specifically Jay, because to me, Jay is now a credible singles guy right now. I would not be angry if he gets involved against Sami Zayn, possibly. I would be completely fine with that. It just, I mean, like, it's amazing just doing some small little things that help someone get over, because I guarantee you, if there was a crowd for this,
people be losing their minds.
Exactly. So this has just been very well booked, very well executed, which is the direct opposite of what we can say when it comes to Monday Night Raw.
There were
two
things good about this.
One thing.
Two. But I think we know we're talking about the same thing.
What's two?
Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss.
No, like that was one.
They're two. I'm going two different people. One group, two different people. Whatever. We're semantics here.
It's like one.
Semantics here. We're gonna fight over this.
But yes, that was the only decent thing about Raw. Is, man, like, how does anyone watch this freaking show and actually enjoy it?
Okay, I put my hand down.
Who don't have to cover it on any podcast.
2 million. What's over 2 million people do?
Man, like, I'm just like literally nothing makes sense. Like, okay, why is the Fiend essentially burying a faction that you have spent over the course of 2 months building up?
No, that was after Bobby Lashley made T-bar or T-bone steak or whatever tap out with the what is it, the say that Lashley whatever his finisher is, what they call it. I saw that and I think I tweeted, what the fuck.
Yeah, I mean,
it Nexus worse than Nexus.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it can't be explained. It's like literally everything that has happened, whether it's that or what the fuck are they doing with Keith Lee? Just him and Strowman has killed any sort of steam that Keith Lee had when he got called up. Literally have no idea what they're doing with him. Then you look over at the tag titles. What's really going on there? I mean, that probably isn't the absolute worst thing that's happening on the show, but there's nothing really exciting happening there. And hell, even like to me, Orton and McIntyre, this feud has gone on way too long. I don't know why we have to have yet another match after like McIntyre has won on 3 separate occasions now, or is it 2? I forget, but
it's still 2.
But it's just like, why is this thing still happening? I don't know why, but probably the biggest issue though, it has to be with like Retribution. They have essentially buried 5 people from NXT who could probably still be used on NXT right now. But no, Vince just. The only explanation I can think of is he lost interest really damn quick. Ollie, I mean, like
I still, we kind of called it.
Oh yeah,
Including my scenario kind of was right with tying in the hacker, because they tied that into it, which I appreciated.
At the same time,
but they tapped out.
It's just like wins and losses matter, people. I don't care what anyone tells you. Wins and losses freaking matter. When you lose and you're trying to portray someone as a very important character, it's going to be really hard to be invested in them. Example, why is outside of the storyline being awesome, why do we buy Roman Reigns right now? Outside of the fact it's a very compelling character, he wins, and he wins in dominant fashion. He's a badass. Like, it's just in the history of this exactly in the history of this whole entire industry, you need to win in order for us to get into you, to buy you, and that is the biggest problem. They like the whole entire Raw is 50-50 booking from everywhere across the freaking board, and no one can get over. This has been the consistent problem with this godforsaken show for how many years, and we're just in the same problem. It does not freaking matter who leaves and like who stays on that show. We see the same exact results. Like, at some point, we need to start to put on some TV that's going to garner some interest. Do whatever Smackdown is currently doing right now and put it on Raw. Because if it was anything what Smackdown is right now, people would not be pitching and complaining like they are right now. And they have every right to be complaining about the show.
I was complaining.
When Matt is complaining and burying the show, that's when you know that it's really damn bad. So, I cannot imagine just anyone who enjoys this show.
Another slightly good thing is that AJ Styles is now being accompanied by that giant Jordan Ogan.
Something that did not make any sense to me about that though was what the ref who was being afraid of the dude for not getting out of the ring. I was like,
grabbing his hand. Well, yeah, they're selling that he is freaking gigantic,
which is fine. But I'm like, you're the freaking ref. Disqualify him. That's it. Like this shouldn't be so freaking hard to freaking do here.
But at the same time, as well as you're showcasing Jordan. Riddle had to lose.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, Matt. Unless he's getting some big ass contract money, he needs to think about possibly leaving, because to me, his ceiling is so low in this company right now. Like
He needed to be on SmackDown.
He needed to be on SmackDown. Hell, he should just throw him back on NXT. But I mean, if I were him, unless the freaking money is just so insanely great, you need to freaking leave. Just they're never going to make you a star. Like, I mean, unless you're just completely content on making money, fine. But I mean, but hell, I would love to see him on Dynamite. I mean, just pretty much anywhere else. Anywhere else, I would love to see him at NXT. But as long as he's on either Raw or SmackDown, he's only going to get by a certain point, and that's going to be it. So I'm hoping that he doesn't stay just like for his own sake. But we'll see how that goes. Was there anything else on the show worth talking about?
Lana went through another table.
Lana went through another table. Okay, cool. Yeah,
I like it. Make it every week. Fiend
and Alexa. So she finally joined the Firefly Funhouse, which I kind of had a feeling that was going to come sooner rather than later. So like, does the feud continue with Retribution? Like, or does someone said like, could you see him possibly reforming a new version of the Wyatt family with them to kind of like save face?
I don't know.
Or try and salvage something with that group.
Do you want to put him with them?
I mean, like at this point, why not? You know,
because Ali's then what's Ali? Not the leader anymore.
Yeah, sure. So
I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll see where that goes. And yeah, so Matt, move on. Let's just go.
I looked through the results. Move on. Okay. We covered all the big stuff.
Okay, so yeah, let's get into AEW Dynamite.
Okay.
So so before we get into everything here, I would say outside of one thing on the show, which was obviously MJF and Jericho,
1.5 for me. And you agree, trust me.
Okay. I thought this was, first of all, a way better show this week. Way better show. Less comedy. It just, like, when this show does, they just freaking minimize the comedy on the show. It's a lot better. And this has been proven multiple times that for some reason they can't help themselves.
I'll tell you what the half part is to get out of the way real quick. The 30-second clip of the Miro stuff.
Oh, okay.
Recapping.
Okay.
Well, that's the half.
Okay. But all right, so we kicked off Dynamite with, was it one of the first round matches?
It was Jungle Boy and Wardlow.
A very good match. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought for sure that they were going to be putting over Jungle Boy here.
No, I thought Wardlow.
Yeah, which I'm glad that they did not, because I believe it was said on commentary.
Because who's on the opposite side of him? Hangman Page. That's Hangman. Why.
Yeah. So yeah, a very good match.
I wouldn't buy Jungle Boy, this look and the size. I wouldn't buy Jungle Boy being Wardlow. I can buy the David Goliath dynamic in this match. Mm-hmm. The different styles, Jungle Boy working the legs, chopping Wardlow down, but ultimately the power and strength of Wardlow would ultimately win, which they did. I enjoyed the big man, small guy dynamic.
Well, and on top of that, I mean, even and obviously isn't going to be winning this tournament, but at the same time, it's going to be giving him a nice showcase. I feel too.
It gives a credible opponent for the semifinals against Hangman to overcome. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I believe he has lost only one match, and that has been against Cody. Like it just and
Still what? Yeah.
yep, it has been his only loss, and supposedly he has won his last 9 or 10 matches, and that is including everything on like Dark. So yeah, I mean, I thought that they were just gonna be putting over Jungle Boy just because he has been on TV so much more than what like Wardlow has been. So I was very happy about that. So now he moves on to the
I'm
semifinals.
keeping track of a wrestling podcast because I want to put a super chat. I want to see if I can get my Rikishi idea in.
Yeah.
But then somebody goes on a super chat. Some Miz by JBL with a case of Blue Chew.
Yeah, right.
So I had to see that. I had to say that. I just saw it. But anyways, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
So like moving on from the opening match here.
The next match. So I'm using Bleacher Report, so I don't know if they have everything like totally in order. I don't know, but it was just Sunny Kiss and Omega.
Yeah, I was also pleasantly surprised here. Kenny just squashed him, which by the way, he was supposed to face Joey Janela, but apparently he was in contact with someone who tested positive for COVID at some indie show, so they had to pull him and they replaced him with Sunny Kiss, which I was not too happy about. But the fact that they had him squash Sunny was perfect, and you could definitely tell he's going full cleaner here, Matt.
I would assume so with the women awkwardly dancing with brooms.
Yeah, between that and like
the women don't dance on this show well.
And also on the intro, like Justin Roberts took almost a full like 60 seconds just like saying every single accolade. Like they were just mentioning like a Meltzer's awards.
That's like saying that's like you saying your Meltzer giving Omega a 5-star match. It's like saying like your mom saying you did good in the 5th grade band concert. It means nothing. I'm gonna be honest. I sat there and I heard that, and it at first I was angry that he was doing this. I was annoyed. Then I sat back.
Funny.
Sat back and I went, I get to see what they're doing with this character, then I can go back and change it. Okay, it makes sense.
Well, I can tell you right now,
if
he does not win this tournament, I will be stunned.
If he just continues with like the pompous thing, then I'll be okay with it.
Well, yeah, I definitely feel that's where they are going. And between,
then I'm fine.
Yes. So yeah, no complaints there. He wins easily. Boom. I
was worried. We were worried that this would go like 20 minutes.
Right. And that was my thought. I was like, please don't go long. And sure enough, boom. That was it. It was like thank you.
They could have, I mean, if they went longer, a little bit long, it wouldn't be the worst thing, but it was present. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if it went like 5 or whatever,
it would make no sense for this to be a competitive match.
Right. But if it was one-sided 5-minute match,
right,
with like Sunny getting like 2 moves in at worst, that would be okay.
Yeah.
This is acceptable.
It was perfect. Yeah. So yeah, a half an hour in, I'm like, okay, it's already a way better show from the previous week.
I think
what's after this here, man?
The match. No, I don't think this has like segments if there's anything in between, but the next thing up match wise was Ray Phoenix versus whatever his name is this week, Pentel 0M.
And the Gondry, man.
This
was an amazing match. Definitely one of AEW's best singles matches, which unfortunately, even though like Phoenix won, he actually got like hurt in this match, and that was just announced for today that Pentagon Jr. is going to be taking Phoenix's spot, and he's going to be facing Kenny on in the second round next week. Unfortunately, I was really looking forward to seeing Phoenix versus Kenny, because to me that would have been match of the year potential right there. But as for the match itself, I gotta say, Matt, Eddie Kingston on commentary was sensational, and even be like for these matches, his promo and like John Moxley's promo building up for their title match, which did they say that's an
I don't know.
I quite bench, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, and man, like, this was serious. It was, and both promos felt really authentic and like real. I'm like,
I think this was the best produced Moxley promo that AEW's done, and I fell in love with the Eddie Kingston promo.
It just, man, like, it's, there is very few guys in wrestling.
I was watching. Yeah, I was. Go ahead with your
no.
I was watching this after coming home from work today, and it was just me and my dad. I think my dad was getting ready to. He just came back, and he was from wherever he was going. He was, changing whatever, and I had this volume was high, and I think the promo, maybe it was just loud, was interesting enough that he came in to see who was talking.
He definitely has that effect, man, because man, like, both guys have very convincing points. Eddie he got tired of just like being overlooked. He felt as like Moxley completely sold out, whereas with like Moxley, he had to do what he had to do to support him and like his mom and his family. So it's a very easy story to tell here. For the short term. Now obviously no one really believes that like Eddie is going to actually beat him, but at the same time, it's a very simple and easy story here. Both guys can really talk. I mean, like, it has been really damn good. So I'm very interested to see what they exactly do with these guys. With, I believe we still have 2 more Dynamites until Full Gear. So we'll see how that goes. But I was very happy with those promos there. And then obviously getting back with like Phoenix and Penta. Canadian Destroyer won a match. I will never not be over dramatic with that match, just because
Me either.
Just because it's very rare, but just a very crazy high-paced match. It was a very easy watch. It sucks that like Phoenix got hurt, but hell, Pentagon versus Kenny should be sensational. If you recall, these two faced at All In way back. So yeah, that was pretty good there, Matt. What's after this here? After Phoenix and Pentagon.
I don't want. Oh crap! I can't. Sorry. After that, see here, we get to Paige and Cabana. I felt like this probably went on a little bit too long. This was the weakest of the 4.
Yeah, definitely.
Were you distracted by Eva Uno and up on ringside going? I kept seeing it. Like,
no, I didn't really pay attention to him.
I saw him.
Honestly, but it's just like, you never really felt with Colt that he was ever a serious threat to ever.
That was the only bad thing.
Yeah. So I mean, it was what it was. Hangman wins. And so it sets up with the semifinals: Hangman versus versus Wardlow, and now Kenny Omega versus Pentagon Jr., which those matches should be sensational next week. I'm very interested to see if there's anything else that's added as far as building up, if there are any other promos or anything. So so far I can't really complain about the about the tournament. It's been really good so far.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then I think this is where we get into the steak dinner here, which has been the
John. It's like dinner debonair.
Yeah,
right.
I wasn't going to even try to even pronounce that. So
You disappointed La Champion.
yeah, I will say this. I did not like this. It was way too corny for me. Now, where I'm confused at is some people saying that this was Raw bad. Like, I'm like, have you people not been watching Monday Night Raw for the last 5 years now? Like, do I need to bring up Rowan's cage, hell, Rusev and Rusev, Lana, and like Lashley, and that whole just freaking mess there. Like, this was not good. I'm not making any excuses here, but please freaking spare me by saying that this was Raw bad. This is going to be 50-50 because from so far Matt, I've seen a lot of people who have like loved this, but I've seen a lot of people who have freaking hated this, and that's kind of when this happened. That's exactly how I felt that what the reaction was going to be. Hell, like a Mick Foley, he put this over. Hell, like I've seen guys such as Sean Ross Sapp putting it over. Like it's really right down the like freaking middle here. Now, I mean, some will say, "Oh, how many times is Chris Jericho going to be like making himself out to be a freaking joke?" And like, what are they doing with MJF? Now, I will say though, as if there's anything as a bright spot to take away from this, they at least are building to something here. Like they're doing all of this silliness for a freaking reason. I'm just hoping that when they do finally pay this thing off, that it's freaking worthwhile. But if not, yeah, it could be very hard to come back from.
I think I wouldn't have. I think I would be more okay with this if we didn't have Jericho be overly comedic way before, like leading up to this with the Orange Cassidy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I so far overall I'm not. I know what they were trying to accomplish. I don't like how they're going away in accomplishing it.
Yeah, and that is exactly how I feel as well. However,
I don't like this choice.
No, I don't either. But at the same time, though, I can appreciate one thing though is they're trying to take some chances in some things, even though this was dumb and stupid. I'm not going to disagree with that, but at the same time, they're trying something, whether it's bad, but we just don't agree on them doing this, and not trying to be a little bit more serious, especially as you said, Matt. That stuff with Orange Cassidy and Jericho,
if they would have done like a legit steak dinner ish thing and still be like that, not passive aggressive, passive aggressive, what about like being fake?
Yeah.
Being fake. I was thinking if they still did the musical number, but like they're talking, they're arguing back and forth, and the musical number happens. I would have been more impressed if they were like legit and went full out and it was like good. And then they did this thing like somebody was imagining it and it cuts and they're back at the dinner table and somebody, maybe Jericho, was thinking of it or whatever. Like they're talking and like even though it still would be bad, they're talking. Maybe MGF says like, we're so good we could duet in a musical or something. The musical stuff happens, they do this, and like I said, right after it cuts and it's Jericho cut right to him and he's thinking about it, and MGF is talking like Chris, and Jericho snaps out of it like it was his imagination and it really didn't happen even though it did. Right. You know what I'm saying? One of those sequences. I immediately thought of that when I was watching this. That's what I would have done. Like if we had to do it, and I'm like, do it this way. How you think about this? I don't know. Even though that, then you get to we saw what he was imagining, but that's what I would do. If we had to do it, I wouldn't do it at all. If it was up to me, I would have done, again, the build leading up to this. I would have done differently, and it could have been done differently, and I think it would still be better and not less divisive. Divisive. Yeah, for online, and that's just me. When I first heard about it, I was like, oh, I'm gonna come on and crap on this, but I'm not, like, we're not going full on burial.
Honestly, I can't.
I live with it. It was not the greatest.
No, it wasn't good. Like, it was just a different form of entertainment here. And believe it or not, people, this kind of stuff happened all the time in the freaking 80s and in the early 90s in the WWF. So it's not like that we haven't seen anything like this. Now, I will say though, after this, a part of me wanted to see like Jericho parody Vince McMahon's Stand Back Now.
I if it was a separate thing, sure, I'll go all day.
I will say, but yeah, I'm just hoping that starting next week when they have that town hall meeting with the inner circle, that we start to get a little bit more serious here. I'm assuming it's not going to be strictly serious, just because if they say you're asking people what MJF should do, I thought the steak dinner was going to be more serious, and it was the complete opposite. I don't think that went any way that anyone thought that it was going to. No, that you expected one thing, and they hit you with a curveball. Right. So then after that, I believe we had was it Britt Baker? Yes, versus Keelan King. Yeah, like Keelan. Yeah, King. Like she won a short match. I'm guessing that they might be building her to face Hikaru Shida. Nothing really to talk about here. Showcase. And then we got the main event, Fatal 4-Way Tag Team #1 Contender match. Private Party, Young Bucks, Butcher and the Blade, and randomly again the bunny. At least they did show. They did show. I was gonna say they showed it. Yes. I get it, but at least they showed that. But. Yes, and then 3 and 4, Reynolds and Silver. Now I gotta say this again. I feel like that we say this every single week. Rick Knox is terrible as a freaking referee. How do you not see that a certain wrestler is knocked out? And how does no other wrestler inside that ring not see he's dead weight and they're trying not the Blade he tried dragging him.
He drags him over and tags himself in, and then they still
Kept on.
they did something to him,
Mhm.
and then after when he regains consciousness, he's still in the match, and drop kick or whatever happened to it. By the when I was like, when they got to that point when he got knocked out, I felt like this is when the match went downhill, and it just got to a giant clusterfuck.
Absolutely.
And it ruined them. Like it wasn't good. The second half.
No, it just
it was too. It was
too chaotic.
It was,
although in like Fatal 4-Ways, you can kind of expect that too.
That's the prop. Yeah, that's a sacrifice.
Yeah.
I'm not an AEW thing. It was a thing, but just the way it came together.
Yeah.
I just said this is a clusterfuck.
And something else that I didn't understand as well. So for the past month or so, or 2 months, the freaking Bucks have been complete assholes. And so when they eventually win and FTR comes down, and give them a toast, and they toss out their beer, and then eventually FTR is beating them down, they're trying to garner sympathy. I'm just like,
who's the faces and heels in this? Nobody.
I mean, like, for me, FTR are completely the freaking baby faces here, but
they're booked as the heels because they're
exactly.
attacking. They're attacking Young Bucks, and thank God Tully Blanchard is involved finally in doing something. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was good. But man, it's just like the freaking Bucks, man. Like
overall I don't like this build for this match. Everybody it's not the best way that they should have.
It's going to be
should have been straight faces. You could have FTR being the straight up heels and being those dastardly.
They really overthought this. I think instead of just keeping it simple, stupid philosophy, and man, I just am not excited about this match. I'm
excited for what I usually say for stuff for like WWE stuff. I'm excited for like I say, the match is good. The match was good,
right?
But it doesn't have this feeling that we all thought it should have been, which is unfortunate,
right?
So I'm just soured on this. The whole, it's the build that is the disconnect, and that's both now in AEW and some stuff, and obviously WWE, specifically Raw. In general,
it just feels like everything is just incredibly stale now with their tags, with their tag division.
Yes. I agree.
Like, I don't know what you can exactly do right now, but something needs to change here. It's just, this has not, I think, garnered the hype and the interest like that they have hoped. And honestly, I think a lot of blame is to put on the Bucks. There is just, ever since they have arrived in AEW, honestly, man, they have been pretty underwhelming, and in my opinion, they have been kind of exposed as a tag team that is not really suited for a like national audience, at least to
as much as I'm not, I like the Young Bucks, but I'm not like on their junk like other people are. They can be a national audience. I think they have that appeal. Again, it's how things are portrayed to the audience. And they can, if and this is not a knock on New Day. If New Day can get over with their gimmick, Young Bucks can get over.
Well,
but it's how they're how they're portrayed.
It's really hard to really get behind.
And I felt like that was the same thing for the most time in AEW with Omega. To me, everybody, I never watched them like the Japan stuff, and everybody's touting him. And when he came in, he didn't live up to that hype.
Well, I think though too with him that they were doing that on purpose because they wanted to actually build up other people, but now as like you're seeing, we're gonna be getting
But I think
that we're going to be getting.
Hopefully, it goes up.
Yeah, like I'm telling you, Matt, 2021 is going to be the year of Kenny. We're going to be seeing his Japan Kenny, where he's just put on great match after great match.
Was this the first night of the obvious cleaner?
Yeah,
gimmick?
Yeah. This was pretty much night one.
I want them to, because it seemed like random. I want them to explain why. What I know they've been doing this, but explanation from Kenny. This side of him.
Well, like he's been slowly teasing small things.
They've been teasing it,
yeah.
But give me an explanation. Why now?
Which we will get that because I fully expect that him and Hangman are going to be having some sort of the face off.
And yeah, but I'm just saying this. I'm
confident they will give us at least some explanation.
Not the bunny when it was they showed you, but yeah.
Honestly, like who cares? In my opinion, about that,
she fits honestly. She fits better with Butcher and the Blade than QT Marshall. Yeah. Anywho, another thing I want to point out. JR. I'm getting, and it really stood out for me this week. I don't know. I really noticed it more when the show started. Usually, you want the energy to keep people excited, and JR was just like, I'm just I'm making stuff up here. Welcome to AEW Dynamite. Blah blah blah. Like it was no excitement.
And I've said this on multiple occasions. I think at some point within the next year or so, he's going to have to be taken off of commentary. It's just his age is really starting to show on some of these. And hell, he's like 68 now, I believe, or 67. Like at some point, you're going to need to just have Tony just completely take over, which in my opinion, Tony, Taz, and Excalibur is what the commentary team should be. I feel like that's probably are the current best team now. I mean, like as a dream, I would love to see them bring in a Morrow, because to me, if you bring in him like that's you're bringing in the absolute best play-by-play guy in the business right now.
If Morrow wants to do wrestling,
but as far as who they currently have, I feel like probably their best trio would be Tony, Taz, and Excalibur.
If Eddie Kingston wasn't a wrestler, I would want him on there.
All right, and like Jericho too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was Dynamite. We have two more Dynamites, as I said, until Full Gear. We'll see how that goes, and now we're going to move on to NXT.
Yes. We open. I think this is. I think next week is Halloween Havoc. Just a note, and we'll probably get into that more.
And I'm hoping for their sake that they finally hit 700,000.
I thought they've got 700 before.
Or no, like this. I mean, like this week marks like 4 of the last 5 weeks where they have like failed to actually reach.
I think they get 700.
I'm hoping because Jesus. I mean, them not being able to at least get 700,000 viewers is kind of embarrassing, if you ask me. So I'm hoping that for everything that they have lined up for next week.
So we open Pleasant Supplies triple threat match. Kushida versus the Velveteen Dream versus Tommaso Ciampa.
One issue.
Go ahead.
Number 1, why is Kushida getting a jobber entrance? Number 2, why the hell is Velveteen Dream getting his entrance, I guess you could say. So I was like, F right there.
Well, AEW does that
Huh?
with
We're not talking about
no, you
AEW.
you're a politician.
We're talking
Don't
about
be like Joe
NXT.
Biden. I'm not going to tell you until after your election. No.
Oh, look, I'm Sleepy Joe.
I sleep huge. My snores are huge.
Okay, there. Okay,
That's
there.
a terrible Trump.
Alec
But
Baldwin.
huge sleep. I sleep a huge amount of time. I'm the best sleeper ever. When I snore, people wake up from their sleep.
What the hell?
I don't know. I couldn't think of anything to say.
Anyways, getting onto this
FTR's got the jobber interest too. FTR, damn it.
Don't get me.
But I agree.
But so this was a very good match.
Phenomenal.
It went about like 15 minutes or so.
You time these,
huh?
You time these.
I'm freaking guessing. Okay, here. So God damn it, Matt. And Kushida,
I would go 16.
he wins. Shut the fuck up. Kushida wins, thankfully. And then
Yes.
And then I'm trying to recall. Was there some sort of thing that happened after the match?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so like he wins. It looks. I mean, I don't know why they're still continuing this feud with him and Dream, but
I'm assuming that's basically over.
I can only hope.
But I'm happy because Sheena gets a win. Ciampa doesn't need. Ciampa can lose. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then we get Undisputed Era backstage with Adam Cole on video on an iPad, saying he's getting better each day. And Kyle O'Reilly, Fish, and Strong talk about how they're going to bring home the NXT Tag Team titles tonight. And they say, as always,
that's undisputed.
We get a Halloween Havoc promo for next week. They're having a Haunted House of Terror match, bringing that back between Dexter Lumis and Cameron Grimes.
I just hate Shotzi as the host. Like, she's just so. It doesn't work.
I know why they do it. I just don't like it.
Yeah. That's exactly where.
And Barrett and Vic are gonna dress up in costume contest, which I can't wait to see. Video package for Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez at Halloween Havoc. I can't wait for that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get into, and they teased this before the break, Ember Moon is in action against Jessie Camilla.
Wasn't me or was like Jessie getting a little bit too much offense?
I thought of that too.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, hell, she looked good here.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, but it's just like I that didn't really make any sense to me.
I was like, that's a lot of if you tone down the offense a tiny bit more, I think it was okay. Especially
for Ember, who is coming back, a former champion, has been on main roster.
Yeah. I do, regardless, and that Moon looked good. I liked her submission.
Mm-hmm.
Her new submission that looked cool, so I like that. That's another
something new,
something to use in the arsenal. But I like the Eclipse, that finisher stunner.
Mm-hmm.
I just like how that looks devastating. Right. So Moon is wins, but Dakota Kai attacks Moon. So we're getting a Moon Kai feud. Right there, I think that's a good first.
It's fine, but I mean, it's like for Dakota Kai, it's like, well, you obviously aren't going to win here. It's like,
I think that's the point where she's in right now.
Yeah, it's like, how many times are you going to lose here?
But it's still a.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, hell, it gives Ember at least something
to do. And Dakota Kai has a reputation. She's not like she's not just feuding with a
but
it's a good starting point to get her back.
Right.
So I'm totally fine with it. Like she's not gonna go straight into she could have straight into EO right off the bat, build her, get some wins.
I would do that. I mean,
build her.
Honestly,
She's
I would
just coming back.
I would probably that would maybe be a like Mania or a Rumble takeover match there. Honestly, I think I would probably save it for one of those shows right there.
Yeah, down the line.
Yeah.
Then we get backstage. Bobby Fish is attacked, struggling to stand, attacked his legs. Strong and O'Reilly asking what happened. Nobody knew who attacked him. So we go to commercial. Then we get Austin Theory versus Bronson Reed, the thick boy, but I don't call him that. Tremendous Titantron, by the way.
The best Titantron in wrestling.
So they fight. Reed gets the win after the match. Theory is pretty much he's saying he's the future
Pissed
of
off.
NXT WWE. He's pissed off. He's 23. He's done more in the business than Reed has done in his 15-year career. I like how they put over that, like, just because he's new in NXT, he just didn't start wrestling. I like that little touch. He gets Reed back in the ring. They have another match, but Bronson Reed pretty much kicks his ass.
And then
Reed leaves, and then we see later on he's going to his car, and they do that cameraman interview, ask him a question. He says he quits, gets in his car, and leaves. So there is something down in the future. He's actually,
he's probably is going to be repackaged and everything.
Which I'm happy because I like Theory. His ring work is great.
He's still really young on top of that. I think
he's 20. He says he's 23.
Yeah, like he's only 23. So yeah,
take him off, repackage, come in another, get a good storyline with him. Yeah. How they did that with in a sense, Joaquin Wilde and who's the other guy?
Raul Mendoza.
They were kind of just nobodies, and they got kidnapped. They did that storyline, and now they're part of something bigger, and so that works. So hopefully, because
a better role on TV.
Right now. So, and then Mackenzie Mitchell, who's becoming my another favorite interviewer. One, she's good, and two, she's not bad to look at either, especially today. She's backstage with Xia Li and Casey Canzaro. Lee's happy or thanks Casey for taking the match. Means a lot. Lee says that this match is very important to her, and she has the win. She needs the match. And then as Casey says, have the best woman win or whatever, Lee says this is the biggest match of her career. She has to win. She has to. So we come back. That's when we had the Austin Theory thing. And so that match between those two is later tonight. Then we get a 6-man tag, Legado del Fantasma versus Isaiah Swerve Scott, Jake Atlas, and Ashante the Adonis.
Yeah, 2 words I would describe this match: car crash.
Very fun match. I enjoyed this match.
There was one spot where they were like right by with the announce table where someone did a dive.
I think Jake did the Spanish fly.
It was that, and I'm like, why are we doing that spot so close between the ring and the announce table? That just looked extremely dangerous right there for my taste. So I just wish that they would be a little bit more careful in that instance. But
Wild runs to the ring. Wild was the one diving out of the ring. Atlas catches him, and it turns into a Spanish fly. Yeah.
Okay. So
Just
So
for
yeah,
clarity.
yeah, just this was going everywhere. Obviously this feud with Isaiah Swerve Scott, which I feel like has been going on forever now at this point, but it's not where like I am completely tired of it happening, because to me,
No, because they added this is not like Street Profits and
no,
um
Andrade.
yeah, thank you. And that what it was some form and nothing new was added. Here you add a Jake Atlas, you have a Adonis, to mix it up, you build stuff. There's stuff going on. You had this match that we've now seen. This was a car crash going at 100 miles per hour. This was a different pace match,
right?
Which is good. Not every match has to be 50 or 100 miles per hour, but this one was good. It was different. I mean, they did that spot. I mean, awesome spot in terms of the spot itself. Dangerous. I mean, Atlas looked like he could have, if he didn't get a better rotation or less rotation, he could have landed on his head. Right. But luckily, there's people there to catch him. Because if you did this without anybody, good freaking Lord. Right. I would rather have people there trying to catch them to soften the blow, obviously, than if they did this straight to the ring, like death. Right. So yeah, I mean, this was a fun match. There with Legado del Fantasma, pinning Adonis, or Wild specifically, pinning Adonis for the win for the group. We have the WrestleMania main event: Johnny Gargano versus a wheel. They were practicing the practice spin.
Yeah, like he landed on
Buried Alive match.
On a Buried
I don't know.
Alive,
Okay,
alive,
you might have had this, but
I
I popped when he went on the Buried Alive match, and he just went. He went, great. He was like, screwed. I don't know.
It's exactly how you react to when you're being over dramatic about anything.
When I say great. No, that's what I would say.
The better question is, where do you want, like, which situation do you want me to bring up?
I was gonna bring up one. That's when, like, I get denied by a lady friend.
Yes.
Like, great.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what.
Or when you're watching a UFC pay-per-view and one of your guys loses. Great.
Great. I'm just gonna play that. I'm just gonna get this clip, and I'm just gonna play that when anything bad happens.
Yeah.
Or the gift. Yes.
So
no, because his reaction popped me. I'd enjoy this compared to the other segments they've done, and Candace was happy because it was trick or treat street fight, something along with fight, and she was like, "Yay, I can beat the thing!" And then you get the Buried Alive match, and he goes, hate this will, and it just reminded me. I tweeted,
throw it away. Throw it away.
I'm done. Throw it away. So. And then this reminded me with that I tweeted it out, a Family Guy clip with they were parodying Jackass, and they put bees.
Oh, that was what we forgot to talk about on Dynamite. Freaking Steve-O with Darby Allin.
Nope, we missed our times NXT.
No, Steve-O with Darby Allin.
I don't know I don't know if I liked that or didn't.
Honestly, I kind of did since it kind of fits Darby as being.
It fits him.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
I don't know. I didn't hate it. I didn't. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
This is Darby Allin. Welcome to Jackass.
I'm gonna do the body bag dive or whatever. What was it?
I forget what. But anyways,
and so I tweeted the clip of Family Guy when they're parenting Jackass, and they put bees on Quagmire's privates, and Peter, to try to upset him, goes, "I hate you, bees. I hate you, bees." That reminded me of Johnny. I hate you, Will.
Yeah.
So
and like he also rolled on a like casket match.
Yeah, yes.
He was like,
I hate this Will. I hate Wills.
He hates Wills. So
I hate Wills.
So then what was after this match?
Elver Rise versus Killian Dane and Drake Maverick.
Who are quickly growing on me, not gonna lie. It's very team. It's very team. Hell
Yeah.
no.
And then
Yeah.
you had Drake get pissed and start getting in the chair, and he disqualifies. The ref disqualifies them, and Everrise wins. And Killian Dane has that look on him, and Maverick's like, "I'm sorry, I messed up." And then Killian Dane's happy, goes, "That was awesome. Where was this at?" I was like, "Yeah,
yeah." So, hell,
it's working. It's slowly. It's slowly.
It's working. I think so.
It's a slow. I love it. Yeah.
It's the main event time.
When we get backstage and we see Strong is laid out, and
That's right.
Kyle O'Reilly is checking on him, and Regal. Everybody's back there. They have Lorcan, Birch, the tag team champions, Breezango, among others. O'Reilly, I think Regal said he was going to find O'Reilly another partner, but O'Reilly said just give him to Lorcan, the title shot to Lorcan and Birch. And Lorcan and Birch are playing off like, no, you earned as you beat us fair and square. O'Reilly didn't want any of it. He goes, I'm going in the hospital, which makes sense. If your friends are getting beat, you want to see me screw the titles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like, oh, okay, I'm going to find somebody else. Screw your friends. And another big thing that nobody's talking about, they said hospital on this show, not medical facility.
Well, because it's not a Vince.
Vince fell asleep this night. He was sitting in the. He was if he was there, probably not. He's probably.
I highly doubt it.
No, if he was, he was doing.
Right. So
who said hospital?
Yeah. So then we get in the main event. For the tag titles.
Before we got Xia Li versus Casey Canzaro. Canzaro wins.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not feeling Xia Li right now.
I want to see where it goes.
Yeah.
Because at least she's.
Yeah, she's.
Doing something. But after the match, Gonzalez attacks both. Or at least picks or destroys Carter.
Oh yeah, like Raquel. Yeah, she.
Both. They lays both out. Yeah,
she killed.
And tells Rhea, this is what you expect. What you're going to expect at Halloween Havoc.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad. Just make Gonzalez a badass.
Yeah.
And Mackenzie Mitchell's backstage with Cameron Grimes. Tells him that it's going to be a haunted house of terror match. And
please kill this son of a bitch. My God, is he irritating?
It annoys you. I love him.
I want Dexter Loomis to freaking strangle him now.
Meanwhile, Dexter Loomis is creeping through the other side of the door.
Yeah. That was pretty weird there. But
that's the point.
Yes.
Anywho,
so then main event, right?
We did Timothy Thatcher in session,
or as I call him, a charisma vacuum.
Thatcher can. I said this would work.
If he had any charisma, yes.
No, I didn't say that. Better one of the things on the main roster, and he would face somebody like a Daniel Bryan. Yeah, just have a barn burner of a match.
Cesaro too.
This is one of those people. If you put, I think it would be better on the main roster than NXT right now. I don't know why.
It's just like
I think it would work better.
I think
I like it.
I think for Thatcher, it's just gonna be hard, man. Just he's a good worker, and he definitely stands up from everyone else. His problem is he just doesn't have any charisma or personality, and that's just going to always hold him back.
Yeah. So main event time. Mm-hmm. Breezango versus Orny Lorcan and Danny Burch.
So I don't know about you, Matt, but this ending shocked me. To say the least.
It did. Yeah, I didn't expect it.
Seeing our boy Pat McAfee back, I was A, excited, and B, shocked. Because it looks like that he's going to be a league manager for these two, which I am not completely against.
I love it. Lorcan
I
and
actually love it. Actually, just
Birch are a great team. They're heel now. Well, more so.
And to me, it looks like we're probably are going to be getting a feud between Pat and Kyle O'Reilly.
Then you have a tag match between Lorcan and Birch with the Undisputed Era. You get that feud.
Yeah.
I'm
not sure where that leaves Cole at, but it just doesn't. I mean, unless they reveal that he hired Holland to take out Cole, then obviously. But it's like
I think Pat's the one that did it, because did Cole do that to himself and paid off Holland? I was thinking maybe just the way Kyle was, it would be a swerve, and just the way sometime Kyle was O'Reilly was the one that took out Cole, to swerve that, but it was neither. During match, a mask person pushed Fandango off the top rope, and obviously Lorcan and Birch win, and it was McAfee takes the mask off with that smile, and it was just like, here we go.
Yeah,
because I never expected,
honestly, like we need more Pat, man. I mean, he, like, I will say sense. That, like, when he first came in NXT, I hated it. I thought that the story could have done better, and I wasn't completely sold on what he could actually do in the ring. But after his match against Cole, I'm not going to question Pat. He really, I feel, proved a lot in that match against Adam Cole. And hell, a match between him versus Kyle, sign me up.
Yeah.
Hell, I could even see a 6-man with them, and Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish there too. So, we'll
I think in this role he can be a manager and not have to wrestle every week until he needs to.
He should only work on takeovers. I don't want to be, he should be,
he's not going to be week to week.
No, and like nor should he. So I think him being on NXT and just working takeovers, I think it is absolutely fine for him. So yeah, we'll see where this goes. And Halloween Havoc is next week. A lot of shit is going down there, but also we also have a pay-per-view on Sunday. Hell in a Cell, and Matt and I are going to be giving our predictions for the show. How many matches?
About that. Hang on. Let me find it. There's 3 Hell in Cells.
Otis
Miz for the briefcase announced tonight.
Is Asuka doing anything? Is she?
Let me look.
Is she even on the show?
Reigns and Jay. It almost doesn't need to be with these Hell in a Cell matches. With the time, with 3 of them, and they're short pay-per-views, I'm fine with it.
Yep.
Drew, Orton, Bayley, Sasha, Miz, Otis, Hardy, Elias.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Honestly, only 5 or 6 matches, that to me is more than enough.
Yeah, I think that's confirmed. Just let me double check.
Okay,
again, but yeah.
Well, yeah. Let's just talk. And let's just talk strictly about the Hell in the Cell matches, since they are the three most important things. So we'll start off with Sasha and Bayley. Who do you got? Do you expect any tomfoolery happening here?
Some form of tomfoolery, if it's a muscle or something else. I say Bayley wins, extend this Sasha goes out and extended to a later date. Obviously, maybe Mania. Bayley retains. I don't think Sasha should win it now. I think the Mania story of finally getting her win. I think
makes too much sense. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I see it as well. I don't really see any reason to put the title onto Sasha right now, but who knows? They will. I mean, like, which means they will probably put the title onto Sasha, but we shall see what happens there.
I don't know. It's SmackDown, so it makes sense.
Yeah. So now, moving on to Randy Orton versus Drew for the WWE Championship. This is where I think Randy finally gets a win here. I mean, like, if you're gonna book another match here, if you're not gonna have Orton win here, then I don't see why. Unless the only way I can see Drew possibly retain is if we get an appearance by Edge. It's the only way I can possibly see him winning, but I'm expecting Orton to go over here, Matt.
Yeah, out of all of them, I think this is the hardest for me to pick, because I don't want Drew to lose so far, but but with this third match, Orton, do you want Orton to lose 3 times in a row?
Yes, because to me, he is completely creative bullet proof now to where as like Drew, I feel like he could really benefit being champion until a like WrestleMania.
He should,
So
but still, in the short term, wins and losses do matter, perception wise.
But at the same time, there are certain exceptions, and definitely.
But it doesn't hurt him. But it doesn't hurt him more if Drew. It's a tough one. I want to say. It's. I don't know. I want to say Orton, but it's Raw, so I want to say Drew. So.
It's not like life or death here, Matt.
I know it's not life or death, but I want to be right.
You're certainly acting like it's life or death.
No, if it's life or death, I would be peeing my pants right now. No, we're good. I'll go Orton.
Yeah, you didn't sound confident.
I'm not confident. I'm not confident in a Raw book match like this.
I'm 100% confident. So,
I'm not.
So then, and the final Hell in a Cell match, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso for the WWE Universal Championship. And if Jey loses, in this I Quit match, inside Hell in a Cell, he and Jimmy will no longer be part of the Samoan family. So, as we kind of talked about on a SmackDown review here, there's definitely something is going to happen here. It's going to be hard to buy for any of us to see Jey say I quit under just like regular one-on-one. Like Roman can beat him to a bloody pulp and he still isn't going to say I quit. Like it just does not make sense for the current character that Jey Uso is. So I think we see someone from either Jimmy or Jay's family show up, and to where
I'm in love with my idea, so I'm biased.
Yeah, something similar to that I think is going to happen. I mean, absolutely, Roman is going to be staying champion. Hell, I could see him possibly being champion to, honestly, even at SummerSlam. Like, I would be perfectly fine if he was champion throughout the summer. Like, I have no problems with that. And obviously now there's zero reason to take the title off of him. So this thing is going to continue. I'm very interested to see how this all will transpire. And I'm guessing that you would pretty much go along the same lines as I'm thinking here, right?
Yeah, for that match?
Yeah.
Yes. Reigns, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just no reason whatsoever for him to lose her. And that'll pretty much do it for our Hell in NSL preview. We are planning on doing as we and we talked about this on the podcast, which is going to be on the channel to tomorrow. We are planning on doing on Sunday a Hell NSL live stream there. So yeah, stay tuned for that, Matt. I believe that this will probably cap off everything here. So yeah, guys, as always, like the video, comment, subscribe, follow our Twitter page. I will be on there for tomorrow for Habib versus Gaethje UFC 254, I think. Yeah, 254. It should be a fun day of fights, and then obviously on Sunday, we will be on the channel there. And as I just stated earlier, our episode 63 of the podcast, we will be talking NFL, World Series, and there was also some things that happened with like Chris Pratt, people trying to cancel him, and where like Matt was pretty animated about that. So yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in, and we shall see you on Sunday for our Hell in the Cell live stream review. So see ya.